Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Samuel.
And I'm Amanda.
And this is the Samuel and Amanda Show,
where we talk about money, marriage and life.
And in this video, we're going to actually be focusing in on marriage. And you know what? It's so amazing how many people are getting married at the moment. I mean, we had some proposals just in the last week.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And we feel like it would be a good idea, as we've just celebrated last month our 6-year wedding anniversary, and as a lot of our friends and colleagues and students are proposing to one another and getting married, we found ourselves quite recently giving quite a lot of marriage advice. And what qualifies someone to give marriage advice?
Well, someone who's married, for starters.
Yeah. Someone's got a good marriage.
Yeah.
Someone's been married for a long time. 6 years is it's all relative, so we're going to do our best. We're not perfect human beings, but I must say we do have a pretty good marriage.
Yeah, we do.
And we
can only speak from our experience as well.
And we can only speak from our experience. So, in fact, when I say we can only speak from our experience, literally, individually as well. Like, I've got 7 things that I've written, which I'm hiding from Amanda. 7 things that I've written that I think is the best marriage advice I could give. Some of these things we have spoken about just in the past, some we haven't. So I'm going to read them out one by one. And Amanda, I want you to tell me if you agree.
Okay.
Because some of these things we've not spoken about.
Okay.
I was talking to Evans recently. By the way, if you enjoy the channel, hit like, subscribe, and all that jazz. But I was speaking to Evans recently, and Evans got engaged to Ellen a few days ago. And before he proposed to Ellen, I had a serious conversation with Evans, and I basically said to him, because Evans, anyone that doesn't know Evans, last year he had nothing. He was sharing a single bed with his girlfriend, living in his girlfriend's parents' house, no money. Now Evans is doing really well. He's buying a hotel. He's on his way to becoming a property millionaire. He's making about £10,000 to £15,000 clean profit a month. And I said to Evans, really important lesson, this was my advice to him. I said that women don't care that much about money. Now, I'm kind of just speaking from my experience, but look at what you think. I'm going to give you my justification and tell you why I said it, and then you tell me what you think.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of people, a lot of guys that start making lots of money, and they become almost, they change when they start making the money, or they don't change, but they feel like if they're bringing home the bacon, that's all they need to do. If they're bringing home the bacon, well, they've done their job. And then, as a result, you can neglect your wife's emotional needs. You can forget that actually, because I don't feel like Amanda's that bothered. If we were living in a small house and you were able to eat and stuff, as a guy, it's easy to think, like, oh man, we just did £1 million deal. But actually, I don't think it matters that much to women. It's more important that you're just there and present and able to provide. But whether you're making 100 grand a year or £1 million a year or £10 million a year kind of doesn't really matter that much to your wife, probably as much as you think. So, what do you think about that?
I actually agree.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I don't think, like you said, if we lived in a smaller house or whatever, none of that matters to me. I think what matters is having the love from you.
Yeah.
So I think it's great if you're really successful and you're making lots of money, but I think when you truly love someone, those material things aren't the basis of your marriage and your relationship. It's, you know, it's just like, oh, a bonus to have, but really what truly matters is having someone that loves you unconditionally.
Yeah. And Ellen, Evans' partner, I'm like, she was crazy about Evans when he had £23 in the bank. She was riding with him and supporting him. And I think you need to remember where you came from a little bit when you start making lots of money. So my advice, this is a finance channel as well, we're talking here about marriage, but is if you're becoming very successful, which a lot of people are, there's millions of millionaires across the world. And I can't remember what the exact stat was. I think there was 5 million people that became a millionaire throughout 2020. And I'm seeing so many people become successful financially, making lots of money, become financially free. But as far as your marriage is concerned, don't forget to not neglect your marriage. And women don't care that much about you being a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, as long as you can put food on the table. So that's the first thing.
Okay.
Second thing that I've got here is this. And that is to learn each other's love language.
So
Talk to me about that.
So true. I think that it's important to know each other's love language. So what are the love languages? There's acts of service, there's quality time, there's touch. Is touch one of them?
Yeah.
There's gifts, and there's words of affirmation. So I think sometimes if you are in a relationship, you need to know how they want to receive love, because say for example, I loved words of affirmation, Samuel, but you never gave me words of affirmation, then I wouldn't feel loved.
I might keep getting Amanda gifts all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, I got you a gift, I got you a gift. And she's like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want your words of affirmation, i.e., hey, I really appreciate you, I love you so much, thanks for being there for me today.
Yeah.
That might be what. So true. Everybody has got different ways that they like to receive love, and don't assume that your partner's love language is the same as yours.
Yeah.
Because you might like being touched. You might like being touched, and that might be the way you feel loved, but your partner might not. So when you're trying to love your partner, you might touch them because you think that that's what they would like, because that's what you like, but actually they've got a whole different love language.
Yeah.
So go figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And how do you know what their love language is? Ask them.
Communication,
It's
guys.
not rocket science. So on that matter, what is your love language? How do you most like, and what's your best and worst? What's the thing that resonates with you most and least?
Oh, okay. The most, I would say words of affirmation. And
That's easy.
That's you do that all the time.
I do.
All the time. And my least, oh, I'd probably say the least is gifts.
Gift is the least.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, I think I'm probably the same. We have a very similar love language,
Yeah.
but you don't have to have a similar love language to your partner. You just have to know. You just have to know what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Next, the 7, by the way. So I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, hit the like button. Next is to protect each other's peace. What I mean by that is, I run a very stressful life, okay? We've got a lot of properties, a lot of tenants, a lot of training events, a lot of staff, a lot of customers, a lot of all kinds of stuff crazy going on, juggling at once. And Amanda was, when we got married, you know, really was quite a rock in the business, and she still is today. But Amanda was in charge at one point of managing all of our HMO managers. Now, it might not sound very difficult managing managers, but Mandy said to me, managing property managers can be just as demanding as managing tenants. And I think for me, it's really important as a man, but also, you know, as a woman as well. I think, because Amanda protects my peace as well. When I saw that Amanda was kind of like getting really stressed out with the managing the managers and stuff, especially when we had Ruby, my thinking is, as a man, I don't want to just protect Amanda physically from harm or emotion. I want to protect her in every which way, including her peace. And again, a lot of businessmen, and I'm probably guilty, can put on their wives. Okay, so it could be like, oh, can you do this? 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 And I'm probably quite demanding to live with. I'm probably quite demanding just as a person generally. But I think it's important to just check in and make sure that their peace is okay, and that they're, you know, that for me, making sure that Amanda is cool, she's happy, and if she's not, like, I'm the first, I'll rip things from her.
Yeah, you do. Samuel's very much like, if he at all senses that I'm unhappy about something, you know, stressing out, then you're just like, totally just like, okay, you're not doing it.
Yeah, I'll rip it from her.
Yeah.
Because my job is to protect Amanda's peace, and if she feels stressed, or, oh, whatever it is, whether it's with the kids, it's like, right, we're getting a nanny. If it's with the HMO, managing the HMO managers, right, we're getting a new overseer. Straight away, I'll rip it from her. But you protect my peace as well in other ways, but that's what I think. What do you have to say?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think it's really important. And lots of people always say to me at events, like, oh, thank you so much for like releasing your husband to let him do this. Because I feel like some wives, when their husbands are like you are, maybe are just at home nagging, that I feel like is just unnecessary and not needed. So I think I do a lot to support you.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I want to do is like put on you, stress you out. Like, you do so much. And I think that when you come home, I just want Samuel to just relax and just not have to, you know.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So, okay, protect your peace. Next is, it is better to be kind than to be right. Again, you can try and win the argument. It doesn't matter. Just be kind to your partners at all times. And you know, we don't really argue much, thankfully. We're pretty compatible. But guys out there and girls out there, never try and win the argument, because it doesn't matter. Which actually takes me to my next point, which is you're on the same team.
So true.
You know, you're on the same team,
yeah.
pulling in the same direction. What do you have to say?
Yeah, and when you're together, you go further than if you're like pulling in one direction and your partner's pulling in the other direction.
Yeah.
You know, so you're a team, and you should, you know, be, what's the word I'm looking for?
Together, united.
United.
Talking about united. This is point number 6. Is never ever undermine your partner. Never undermine them, especially in public. So if Amanda's telling a story and I'm like, I don't think it quite. You know, but you see those couples where it's like, someone's telling a story and the other one's like, no, it was actually Wednesday. Or,
I know.
No, this, and it's like, whoa.
It just ruins. It's so like.
It's
awkward.
annoying.
Yeah, it is.
I hate to watch that.
It's not necessary.
Amanda's telling a story and she says, oh, and then we did this, that, and the other, and she gets the date wrong or the time wrong or the whatever wrong. I'm not going to step in and go, no, actually, you got that wrong, like, because it's just annoying.
I know.
And undermining one another. Oh man, it's so disgusting to see when a married couple, you know, one of them will like roll their eyes at the other person. Oh, she always does that. Or if I see like a guy who's married, whose wife, and he'll like make some joke at her expense.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh. So not cool. Again, it all roots back to being on the same team, you know. You have to be rooting for each other, supporting each other, because if you're not, then who else will? What
do you think though as well? Because I think as well there's something within the spirit of when something's said. So we'll sometimes diss each other as a joke. Like she'll be like, oh, whatever, big head, or you know, we'll just jokingly like take the mickey out of each other. What's the difference between that and actually undermining one another?
Oh, I'd probably say the difference between that and undermining is probably just that sometimes, say if there's like something that you know your partner is sensitive about. So when I'm saying like, oh, hey, big head or whatever.
I'm quite sensitive about my big head.
I know you're not sensitive about your big head. So it's just like, oh, it's just a bit banter. But I think if I took something that I know is something that you struggle
like my
with.
big ears, for instance. Or...
then, you know, then I feel like then you're saying it in a mean spirit, and then it's, you know, it's not funny, and then again it's making your partner feel embarrassed, and then, you know, it's just horrible.
I think it's the spirit. Like, we banter a lot, we'll joke. Sometimes I'll ask Amanda to do something, even in public, if we're amongst friends or whatever, she might say, you know, who do you think you are there? What? But she's totally joking, and I can joke back, and you know, sometimes I'll say, go get me a drink. Oi, and I'll start snapping my fingers. But I'm completely kidding.
Yeah.
Oi. And she'll just go, oh, what? Like, I'm completely kidding. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's more like, Mandy could literally cuss me out and be taking the mickey out of me, and I wouldn't mind if I know that the spirit is she's just joking. But if she just raised her eyebrows and I sensed that she was unhappy, I'd be like, whoa. Like, literally. Or if I sensed the crack, you know, the crack in her. Yeah. I can tell when Mandy's upset.
When I'm about to cry, when I get upset, before I even, just when I speak, Samuel's like, oh,
it's just
okay.
Her voice just cracks a tiny bit. And it's so funny because sometimes I wouldn't even guess that she'd be upset about it. So we'll just be having a normal conversation. And then she'll be talking, and then the crack, oh, damn, she's upset. And I'm like, and I'm like, whoa. Or if I think it's about the spirit. It's about wanting to, you wanting to love the person, not undermine them, boost them up. But yeah, at the same time, if you're kidding around, then I guess it's different, as long as they're okay. Even if I was kidding around, if I was taking the mickey out of Amanda, jokingly, and if I sensed that even 0.1% of her was upset about it, I would immediately stop. Alright, last one is love one another, but also love yourself and be independent. And I'll tell you what I think about that, and you can tell what you think as well.
Okay.
You know people call themselves, when they say, oh, my other half, I don't like that. Because this idea that you're not one without them, I feel like you want to come to your partner as a whole being, independent, and otherwise you can be a bit needy or a bit clingy, or, oh, I need them. Like, we've lived very independent lives as well as very together as well. So What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that you have to really love yourself, and it's like that thing when they say you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
So I can't give into our relationship if I'm not whole in myself.
Yeah.
So I think that it's really important that I'm not trying to be fulfilled by Samuel. I'm fulfilled in myself, and then together it's, you know, it's even bigger and better.
Then the cup overflows,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
If you're trying to be happy, but you're trying to be happy by somebody else, and you're like, this person needs to make me happy. This person needs to make me feel a certain way. You're putting way too much pressure on that person. And that's what leads to clinginess and, where are you? I miss you, come back home. I'll sometimes go away for days at a time and we'll miss each other. But Mandy's not pining at home. Well, maybe a little bit.
Waiting by the window.
No, but you're not, like, you're doing your thing. So I think come as a whole person, find fulfillment not in each other. I mean, as Christians, we find fulfillment in God. We find fulfillment we're independently happy, but then we come together as one.
Yeah.
1 + 1 makes 1.
Yeah.
So we're one together, but we're also one apart. I'm not half a person. Mandy's not half a person without me. So that's my final one. Do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I think I agree with all of them, and I think that it's really important to put each other's feelings first, and to always consider how your partner's feeling. And even if you think that they're wrong, again, not
doesn't matter.
Right, yeah.
There's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
There's just kind or not kind. And I think as well, water the garden. You know, and I've said this to so many guys, so many young guys that are starting out in business. We spend so much time on our businesses, trying to grow our businesses with our customers, with our staff. Marriage isn't hard work. I have not found it hard work, but it's not hard work when you water the garden. When you water it, you've got to put time into your marriage. Go out on date nights. Value your partners. Value your wives. And also, marriage is a beautiful thing. I love marriage. I love being married. I love committing to somebody. And I'm definitely not perfect, okay? No way. I'm nowhere near perfect. But what I am is I'm committed. And I think committing to somebody and giving somebody your all is a beautiful thing. So guys, if you're with your girls and you've been together for a few years and they're waiting for you to propose, but you're like, oh, what's the point of being married? Stop being a pussy, get the ring out and commit, okay? Because marriage is a beautiful thing. So thanks for watching. My name's Samuel.
And I'm Amanda.
And we'll see you next time.
See you guys.